Hi, welcome back. I'm Melissa Muir. In the last video, I showed you how to set up the RMGO system, and this is both for rhodium and gold plating. So let's jump in and check out gold plating. Now, one of the questions that might come up is why do we want to plate our jewelry anyway? And there's a number of reasons. Probably the first reason that people want to plate their jewelry is to give it a little bit more protection. Sometimes the plating tends to be a little bit stronger of a coating than the metal is. Now that's not always the case, but that's the number one reason. Number two would be if they want to change kind of the look of their jewelry. That's also going to be the case if you have white gold, because white gold still has some gold in it, which is going to give it more of a yellow hue. Then it gives it much more of a white look, and that is sometimes more desirable. Let's jump in now and we're going to see what it takes to do some gold plating on top of silver rings. And then be sure to stay tuned because I'll do another video with the results and yet another video showing you how to do the rhodium plating. Now, when I'm working with gold, it's pretty easy. This is 1,000 milliliters, and all I have to do is just pour this in. It's ready to go. So I want to take care not to let it splash around too much. And again, I'm working more safely, so I've got different protection on as well. I already have my stainless steel anode in here, and that's going to help with that electrical reaction and help with that plating process. All I need to do now is hook up that red cord and plug it in. When I'm not using this, I'll take the anodes and rinse them off and then store them outside. I like to kind of just stick them here on the red cap that goes with that particular solution. That way it keeps everything nice and together. The lids are nice because it's going to keep things from getting into this. It is not hermetically sealed, so it's not going to keep this from evaporating, but it will help that process a little bit. If I'm ready to go on this, all I need to do then is just slip that in. Let it hang over the side. And once more, I'm going to hook up the cord, plug these in, and then we're ready to get down to business. All right, so the salt, the degreaser, is going to go into the DEG spot. So that's for the degreaser. We are going to take the electrode for the 18 karat gold, and that's going to go into where it says RHO for rhodium, but this also works for gold. And then I'm going to take our black, the black one that's going to hold all of our pieces, and we're going to hold that into our black piece. Then we can switch the machine on here in the back, and they have a light on that indicates that it is now turned on. All right, let's talk a little bit about these pieces. So here I've got a number of rings. They've already gone through the ultrasonic cleaner. I've got 3 rings here that have been completely polished. So I've taken them all the way through the polishing cycle. Now, I don't know if you guys can see this on this ring or not. There is a little itty bitty tiny spot of fire scale right there. And I left it because I wanted to see what would happen with the plating when we go through this. So I did leave a little spot there just to see what it looks like. Now I have 2 rings that have gone and they've been tumbled. So I've kind of finished them with sandpaper. They don't have a really fine surface or a polish on them, but we wanted to kind of test that out. And then I have a number of jump rings that have been soldered closed that I'm going to go through the plating process also. These have also all been cleaned and polished, so they are also ready to go. So that's kind of the testing that we are going to do on this. For the first process, I'm going to work with the 18 karat, and I've got the 2 rings, one that already has a stone set. This is the one that has that little bit of fire scale right here off to the side. Stone has not yet been set. I do know that most people prefer to get their stone set and then plate, and I just figured I would try this out this way. Okay, everything is plugged in, the jig is plugged in also. So what I'm going to do is hang the rings on this, and now first we need to go into this electrolytic salt first, and then we'll rinse it off. So after every stage you always do a rinse. So I'm going to put this into the salt, and then, and you might see, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's already starting to react just a little bit. But I'm just going to press the go, and this is going to give me a 30-second wash on this. Okay, and this is just gonna go through and just kind of degrease everything. So you saw that I handled it with my hands, and yes, my hands had just been cleaned and everything like that, but you always want to at least degrease it. If there is grease, it is not going to adhere when you do that plating system. So any of the plating will just kind of flake off in that area. So we'll just keep this going until we see it stop, and there it just turned off. So that was 30 seconds in there. So now I can switch that around a little bit, and I'm going to bring this into our rinse water. Just give that a nice little rinse. And then next, we're gonna go into our gold bath. Here on the system, I'm still set at 30 seconds, and I can see that because we've got the one light over 30. Now you do have a 15-second option, and if I push both of these at the same time and both lights come on, that's gonna give me a 60-second bath. So we're gonna try that out with some of these jump rings and see what the difference is between 30 and 60 seconds. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and stick with the 30 seconds that it recommends. Once more, I'm going to dip this into the solution, and now I'm going to press go. Okay, this was 30 seconds, and I have a very slight yellow color to this. I do not feel like that would be nearly enough. So I'm going to rinse this off. And again, I have that 18 karat rinse water. So if we look at this now, it is yellow. However, it's not very yellow. That's not what I would want. And it's fairly even. I can see that. Where I had that little bit of fire scale, I'm still seeing a little bit of that come through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it back in here, and we're going to do another 30 seconds on this. This time we are going to put this in for 1 minute. And again, I'm going to push go, and we should see our reaction happening again. I do like to move it around just a little bit, although it doesn't say you need to. Now, the longer you do this, the more gold it's going to put onto your piece, and the less, uses you're going to have with this. So you're going to have to kind of keep that in mind as you use this. So we can see that it's still, we have that reaction going. Okay, we've hit our 1 minute. So now when I come out, I can definitely see a much more yellow cast to this. Again, I'm going to rinse this off, and now we have definitely a much more yellow look to these rings. To give you kind of a comparison, pull in one of our silver rings, and there we have it. Once the plating process is done, I will unhook the red cord. I will pull out this anode, take it over, rinse it off in my sink, and then once again, I will store it here inside that red cup, and then I'm ready to go for the next time. If it's going to be a while before I get back to doing any kind of plating, I will then take my gold solutions and pour them back into the container that they came out of. This will allow me to keep it clean as well as prevent any kind of evaporation happening to this one. If any kind of evaporation does happen, you can simply top your solution off with some distilled water. That gold is a little bit heavier. It's not going to evaporate. It will still stay within your solution, but you can go ahead, top that off with distilled water, and then you'll notice when you stop having a lot of gold in your solution because the plating process is just not going to be working well. So now you can see how easy it is to use the RMGO system. I didn't have to mix up a lot of different chemicals. I don't have to warm up my solutions. The biggest thing is that I want to make certain that I have a beaker for the solution and then another beaker for the rinse water. And one more big thing, make sure you've got some ventilation going. I always do that. And I'm pretty sure you heard that fan going in the background while I was doing the plating process. So stay tuned. In the next video, I'm going to go through all the results of this, and then there'll be a couple more follow-up videos showing you how to do some rhodium plating, and we're going to talk a little bit about that ventilation system. We'll see you guys in the next video. If you have any questions, be sure to drop those in the comment section and we'll get right back to you.